Welcome to the new EDIROL V-440HD multi-format video mixer. The V-440HD provides seamless mixing among 4 standard definition inputs and 4 high definition inputs. The V-440HD unites your various inputs into one high definition video stream that is available on 2 program outputs. Let's look closely at the V-440HD and explore its key controls and capabilities. We'll start by understanding the primary layout of the mixer. 4 standard definition or SD inputs come in here. They are mixed on 2 buses, labeled A and B, then become upscaled and sent to the high definition or HD section of the mixer. The 4 high definition inputs come in here and are mixed on buses C and D. Each of these HD buses has an AB button, which allows you to select a standard definition source rather than a high definition source for your video mix. Your final mix of SD and HD sources will be scaled to a high-definition output format, which you select here. Now that we understand the flow of video in the V-440HD, let's start mixing and switching. We'll begin by making sure our output video is properly set. We have 3 choices for output format: 1080i, 720p, and numerous resolutions of PC RGB, also known as computer video. We're using a display that accepts PC RGB, so we'll select output format RGB as our output format. Now let's select some standard definition sources and mix them. Select an input channel on bus A and another input channel on bus B. The T-bar fader will mix between the 2 selected sources. We can see this in the SD monitor. In order to route the mixed SD signal to the high definition outputs, we'll need to select the AB button on bus C or bus D. Here we selected bus C. We'll select the SD mix by pressing the AB button on bus C. Now we can fade to C bus and see our SD signal upscaled to HD and displayed on our HD display. Now let's mix in some HD signals. Select an HD source on the D bus. In this case, it's input 1 of bus D. Let's fade to bus D. Note how the V-440HD seamlessly mixes between SD and HD signals. In addition to mixing with the T-bar, we can also switch between sources quickly without glitches or interruption. With the AB input of bus C selected, we can use the Cut button to switch to different sources in our SD section and receive nice clean camera cuts. On the HD side, we can switch seamlessly between our various HD sources. We can also switch between HD sources and SD sources without glitches or interruptions. The V-440HD uses colors to guide the operator on the current status of all inputs. Let's start with our input signal colors. On the SD inputs, green indicates that an active S video signal has been detected. Red indicates that an active composite video signal has been detected. No light tells us that no signal is being applied to that input. On the HD inputs, green corresponds to an active HD component signal, while red indicates an active PC RGB signal. No light means that no active signal is detected on that input. Now let's look at our buses again. Notice that when you move the fader to a bus, the colors of the input buttons change. An active bus will become yellow, while an inactive bus will become green. This applies to both the SD and the HD sections of the mixer. If an input select button is not lit, that means it hasn't been selected. If an input select button flashes yellow or flashes green, that means you have activated a special effect on that input. We'll have more on the V-440HD effects later. Let's take some time to look at the V-440HD menu. It can modify every aspect of the mixer and offer you precise control over many details. The menu is viewed by connecting a standard TV display to the SD preview output jack shown here. Just press the menu button to call up the primary menu screen. The cursor view knob will select parameters from the menu, and the enter button will confirm a choice you made in the menu. Let's start with our SD inputs. We'll use the value knob to select parameter number 7, SD input. Press the enter button. Let's adjust input 2 by selecting it with the value knob and pressing the enter button. The first parameter is input select. Notice that we can set input 2 to be automatically detected, or we can assign it as a composite or S video input. Press Menu to go back up 1 level in the menu. As you can see, we can optimize the picture parameters of input 2. We can control brightness, contrast, color saturation, and hue. This will help you optimize each input source for the best possible overall picture. You can quickly and easily make many common adjustments by shortcutting the menu. Let's demonstrate this by adjusting the brightness of HD input number 1. To do this, simply press and hold the menu button, then press the HD input 1 button. The menu automatically delivers us to the HD input 1 menu. Now we can quickly adjust that brightness. There are menu shortcuts for most of the inputs, outputs, and effects. Let's use the menu shortcut to quickly set the output mode resolution of our mixer. Press and hold menu, then press the RGB button in the output section. This takes us right to the RGB output format selector. By pressing enter, we can now use the value knob to select the appropriate output format for our display. The V-440HD menu will offer you control over many aspects of the mixer's operation. We can customize inputs and output and even make fine adjustments of the V-440HD's special effects. Menu functions are detailed in the owner's manual. You should acquaint yourself with these parameters prior to your first video performance. Now let's look at the special effects on the V-440HD. We'll start with the wipe functions. Rather than mix one video bus into another, we can use a wipe pattern to move one video image onto another. Select a wipe pattern from the SD or HD section, then use the faders to actuate the wipe. Though rarely used, wipes can be an impressive effect for your video performance. You can also opt to cut rather than mix. With the cut function turned on, the fader will quickly cut between buses when it reaches midpoint. Going back to mix will restore normal mixing function of the T-bar. The auto button will allow you to do automatic cuts and mixes without the need to move the T-bar. If you selected mix, the auto button will automatically mix the two buses. You can adjust how slowly the mix occurs by adjusting the time knob. It will display the mix time in seconds. If you use the auto button with the cut function engaged, you will get instant switches between your video buses. Now let's talk about picture-in-picture, or PIP. You can create a PIP effect in either the SD or the HD sections. You can even have an SD PIP and an HD PIP occur together. To create a PIP effect, select one of the 5 primary PIP types. You can select either of the 4 corners or the center. Let's start with SD PIP. Select a PIP type, fade in the bus with the inserted PIP video, and your PIP image will appear in that corner. You can unlock the PIP joystick and move your PIP around the screen. You can also use the PIP size knob to change the size of your PIP window. The PIP lock button will keep your PIP window where you want it. The HD section has its own PIP control. Not only can you select a PIP area and adjust the size of your PIP window, you can also use the PIP zoom feature to zoom in or zoom out the video image inside your PIP window. This will help you eliminate any black edges in your PIP image, as well as help you zoom in on the only video portion that you want to see inside the PIP window. To turn off your PIP window, you can fade it out using the T-bar, fade it out with the auto button, or turn off your PIP pattern button. Now let's look at the V-440HD's keying effects. Keying is a method of removing a color from one image and allowing another image to appear in its place. Keying, also known as green screen or blue screen, will allow you to place a video subject or still image into a video stream seamlessly, much like the way a weatherman appears before a map on TV news. There are 2 primary types of keying. Luma key or luminance keying will key on either black or white. Chroma or color keying will key on one specific color, usually green or blue. The V-440HD menu will let you select whether you want white, black, green, or blue keying on the SD or HD keying effect. Once you've settled on a key type, key your video by pressing the key button on the SD or HD section. The key level knob will adjust how much keying occurs in your video. The V-440HD menu will give you some additional controls, such as soft edge, which can help reduce the harsh edges that may appear on your keyed video.